When working with Genexus and Genexus Server in merge mode, conflicts may arise between modifications made by different developers to the same object. A conflict occurs when modifications made by one developer overlap with modifications made by another. In most cases, there's no automatic way to solve the problem, and therefore, the developer will have to do it manually. At what point can a conflict occur? When performing an update operation, a warning message will be displayed. Let's see an example. From the World Cup KB, the team name attribute is set as character 25. The changes are saved, and a commit operation is performed. Now, in the World Cup Diego KB, the team name attribute is set as character 35. It's saved, and an attempt is made to commit, but without knowing the modifications already sent by the other developer. If we look at this message in the output window, we can see that when trying to perform a commit operation, a message indicates that a new definition exists in the server and that it isn't locally integrated. Therefore, performing the corresponding update operation first is recommended. So we select the update option and run the update operation. The message indicates that when Genexus Server finds a conflict, a new revision of the object will be created in the local KB with its status in the server. The conflicting object will be highlighted in red in the list of objects with a pending commit until this conflict is resolved. Let's see the possible scenarios to solve the conflict. First, merge. It's the most common scenario, where the changes made locally and on the server must be integrated. In this case, the developer will have to resolve the conflict manually, checking both definitions that generate the conflict and reapplying the changes made locally so that a new revision of the object is generated in the local KB. Once this manual merge is made, the commit operation can be performed to update the object in Genexus Server. Maintain local changes only. The developer will have to restore the revision with the object version containing these local changes. To this end, he or she will need to use the options History, Set as Active, or Restore this revision, and then the corresponding commit of the object to Genexus Server. Maintain server-side changes only. In this scenario, the conflict should be marked as resolved by simply right-clicking on the object in the Commit dialog box and selecting Mark as Resolved. So let's solve this conflict. Locally, the team name attribute is set as character 35. We'll open the Team Development dialog box, and from the commit window, we right-click on the object and select the option Compare with Server Object. The comparer is opened, and we can see that the attribute in the server is set as character 25. We leave this definition as valid, so we return to the commit window, right-click, and select Mark as Resolved. We can verify the result by opening the team local transaction and confirming that the team name is now set as character 25.